one of my favorite fake news scandals that we've seen in quite some time. So a little inside baseball, but actually ended up blowing up on Twitter. NPR reported, let's put this up there on the screen, that Justice Gorsuch did not wear a mask despite Sotomayor's COVID worries, leading her to telework. So it goes something like this. Basically, that Chief Justice Roberts had told everybody on the bench that they had to wear a mask. Justice Gorsuch then refused to wear a mask. Justice Sotomayor, because she has diabetes and is worried about getting COVID, said that she would then choose to participate in a microphone setup in her chambers via telework because she didn't want to come into contact with other justices. People got pretty upset about this. And, oh my God, Justice Gorsuch, how do you not respect somebody like this? He's such an, he's a POS, like all this stuff, right? So they're getting very upset with Justice Gorsuch. It becomes a huge thing on Twitter. It blows up, some tens of thousands of retweets in terms of that reporting. Well, the next day, let's put this up there on the screen. The joint statement was put out by Justices Gorsuch and Sotomayor saying, quote, reporting that Justice Sotomayor asked Justice Gorsuch to wear a mask surprised us. It is false. While we may sometimes disagree about the law, we are warm colleagues and friends. Now, here's what's important. The copium after this, Krystal, the cope, for those who are not as online as I am, was, well, the report said Justice Roberts asked them to wear a mask. So technically, the story is still true. And so, in reaction to that, Justice Roberts puts out a statement. Let's put this one up there very shortly after to make things crystal clear. Quote, I did not request Justice Gorsuch or any other justice to wear a mask on the bench. So, like the SCOTUS blog is making clear, Justices Gorsuch, Sotomayor, and Roberts, all three of the people who are involved in this story, say it is complete and total BS. So why does that matter? NPR today is standing by the story. Nina Totenberg, the longtime correspondent, says, quote, NPR stands by my reporting. How do they stand by it? All parties involved says this is BS. Yeah,
and so in this, there's further copium within this piece, expanding upon how they can still support this reporting. They say, quote, on Tuesday, NPR reported that Justice Sonia Sotomayor, a longtime diabetic, had indicated to Chief Justice John Roberts that because of the Omicron surge, she did not feel safe being in a room with people who are unmasked, and that the Chief Justice, quote, in some form asked the other justices to mask up. On Wednesday, Sotomayor and Gorsuch issued a statement saying that she did not ask him to wear a mask. NPR's report did not say that she did. Then the Chief Justice issued a statement saying he did not request Justice Gorsuch or any other justice to wear a mask on the bench. The NPR report said the Chief Justices asked the justices had come in some form.
Oh my God. That's
what they're hanging it on, is the fact that they said
just put the cope straight in her veins.
In some form. What? What he did, like smoke signals or something? I mean, it's just like they directly, as clearly as they could, directly contradicted NPR's reporting. Yes. And they're still hanging on to this thin shred of like, no, what we said, it's still somehow magically in some form correct.
So here is an interesting theory that I saw online from Pradeep Shankar, which is that the reason NPR is standing, but this is pure conjecture, so please, forgive me. Mm-hmm. But the conjecture is, the reason NPR is standing by it is because they think that the source was probably Sotomayor on background, and that her or her staff thought that they could get away with leaking something like this and it wouldn't be directly repudiated by the bench. But then, whenever it became a huge national story and uproar on Twitter and people were asking the court for statements and all that, she had to backtrack and say, actually, it didn't happen because it didn't happen. And then Justice Roberts came out and said that. I would only speculate as to why they would continue to stand by that reporting. And in general, when you report something of this magnitude, you should be very confident in your source. And one of the way that people are very confident is a person with knowledge is sometimes the justice themselves. Again,
there were other
total conjecture on my part. I'm just speculating as to why this might have happened.
There were other outlets that said they confirmed this story too.
Well, maybe they were talking to Sotomayor too.
But that is very telling because you see this happen a lot where one outlet gets a story and then like a bunch of other outlets are able to confirm it.
Yeah.
And it usually is the same group of people peddling the same story in a lot of different people. So if that initial source is lying, then just because then NBC News confirms or whatever, well, they're still talking like the same liar and the same person with, you know, some kind of dog in the fight in terms of the story. So the fact that you see a lot of outlets confirm something doesn't necessarily make it any more likely to ultimately be true.
Remember that Atlantic story about Trump called the World War I dead or something like suckers and losers that conveniently came out right around the time he wanted to sign a peace deal with the Taliban. Shocking how that works. A year-long industry, you know, or a year-long incident. It just happens to pop up in the Atlantic right whenever we're going to have a major peace deal with the Taliban. Wild, right? Well, I remember it came out and immediately all these Pentagon correspondents start confirming it. Nobody will tell you who said it, who heard it, or whatever. And it became a massive story that the Atlantic, by their own admission, netted like 10,000 yearly subscriptions or whatever off of this thing. And then Biden goes out and be like, you know, attacking Trump or whatever. It's total manufactured BS. But that was a true and clear window, I hope, for all of you, and to see how when you confirm a story, it only depends. You can confirm it by talking to the same liar. How do you know that they're not lying to you? Their standards are rock bottom. So this is the fakest of fake news that you could ever see. And the fact that NPR, a government-funded institution, is standing by the story is outrageous. But it's very convenient. Remember they put that statement out about the lab leak theory? They're like, we're not going to investigate it because it doesn't matter. And it's like, what? Wait, what? I mean, what is happening here? Watching this institution, which I grew up listening to, I mean, you know, go down the drain in terms of woke politics.
They have some wonderful podcasts, though, I will say.
Maybe.
Invisibilia is
I don't even listen anymore. It's pathetic. I mean, I remember, you know, This American Life, all this stuff. They invented an entire genre. Truly iconic. I don't even know if we would be doing this format without them. I mean, in a way, they were some of the godfathers of long-form podcasting and discussion.
It's worth saying, too, part of why is because they don't have such a direct profit incentive. So they were able to experiment with things like longer form and deeper dives. And, hey, let's talk about human beings and their stories and stuff, which never would have flown in just straight-up corporate media. So, yeah, it's sad to see things like this.
It's very pathetic. So, NPR, your fake news.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching.
That's right. Just as a reminder, you can become a premium subscriber today. Watch the full show completely uncut, our reactions to each other's monologues. You get to listen to it. You get to ask us questions, all that good stuff. Link is right there in the description or at breakingpoints.com.
Best of all, great way to say screw you to the mainstream media.